Now, live from the Patriot Detroit Radio Complex, this is the John McCulloch Show.
That this is an effort by Mitch McConnell and his cronies to steal this election from the people of Alabama, and they will not stand for it. They overcame $30 million and voted me in the primary, and now they're trying a different tactic. They even, the other day we got a call from one big magazine, which you all recognize if I say the name. I don't want to say it. But they got a call and asked me to step down from the campaign. Well, I want to tell you who needs to step down. That's Mitch McCulloch.
Now, here's John.
Welcome into the Open Mouth Friday edition of the McCulloch Show at our regular time here on FM 101.5 and AM 1400, The Patriot. Glad you could join us for the fastest hour in local Detroit talk radio, where your host continues serving his life sentence in reality. Be advised that here all lives matter. There is no political correctness. There are no safe zones for the snowflakes. And if you can be triggered, well, you'll be triggered here. That's for sure. Lots to be tossed into the hopper tonight, but it is Open Mouth Friday, so it's your show. That means you call at 800-923-9385, and that's 800-923-WDTK. And if you are polite and do not mislead the screener as to what you want to talk about, you're going to get on the air and you can say what it is that you want to say. I'm interested, the audience is interested, and we'd like to hear from you. This could be something political, could be something we didn't cover this week, something we did cover this week that you don't think we covered completely. It could be just about anything except a garage sale or anything like that. It's just, you basically use your head. It's a family show, and we like to keep it that way. And that's about it. And, we don't do jokes either, so let's not do that. Lots in the hopper. There's some things I got to thank Chrissy from St. Clair Shores, who dug up that schedule of the settlements made for harassment and other claims in the federal government. The chart runs from 1997 to 2017. It's a little over $15 million. No sign of who it went to, why, or any of that, just the year and the amount. But I will tell you this. In 2002, $3,974,000 of that $15 million was paid out. And in 2007, $4,053,000 was paid out. And, question I have, now I'm going to go to work on this, see if I can find out what what it was that was paid out and so forth. But in those 2 years, can you think of what could have happened to kick the total up that high? The rest of the years are all under $1 million. Highest one after the $3.9 million is $934,000. That was in 2017. We'll get to the bottom of it, but I'd be happy to say, entertain a guess from you if you can figure out what happened in 2002 and 2007 to kick the title up so high. Debbie Dingell has been harassed. Debbie Dingell is not one of my favorite people for her political stances. She's a marvelous member of the community, but I don't agree with her politically at all. But she says that she named one experience that she had. She didn't name the offenders, and she said there's others. But she would pay a huge price if she named them. Does that mean that the women in our legislature in Washington, D.C. are working under a hostage-type situation? Yeah, you can come in if you can get elected, but if you come in, we're going to harass you, and you better keep your mouth shut. That doesn't sound like the Debbie Dingell I know. It really doesn't. And Ms. Dingell, I believe that you owe your constituents and the people of the state of Michigan an explanation. Who are these people? Name them. I don't care if they're Republicans or Democrats. Let's get it out in the open. And the last thing I'll throw in real quickly is that the pollsters, who we all know do not reflect public behavior, they attempt to drive public behavior, have said that a third of the families in the United States this year will avoid talking about anything political over the 4-day Thanksgiving weekend. 1 in 3 U.S. adults will not talk about anything political. That means they don't want people talking about anything political. And that's so they try to steer, or as the famous information guy in Obama's White House said, would try to nudge you in certain directions. Are you being nudged? Or are you going to talk to your families about the political zaniness that's going on in Washington? 800-923-9385 is our number. That's 800-923-WDTK. Also, you can reach us on the text feature on your mobile app. If you don't have it, you should. Just go to your app store, to your mobile phone's app store, search WDTK. When it pops up, download it, install it, open it up. You'll see all kinds of great features. You'll see all the great Salem hosts. You'll be able to hear them in real time, and you'll also be able to hear them in podcasts and so forth. I have a few podcasts on there. All the McCulloch Minutes are on there. And if you text down far enough, you'll get to a place that says Text John McCulloch, and that sends a text directly to me here in the studio in real time, pops in on the screen here on my right, and they do come in fast, and I read everything that comes in. I get a lot of great information there, a lot of great ideas for shows and questions, and I really enjoy having it. It's a great addition to the show. It's free, doesn't take up much room on your app, on your phone, and just go and get it and start texting me tonight if you wish. And as soon as I stop bumping my head into the microphone, I'll read them. 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. I've thrown a lot in there, but I want to hear from what you want to say. Here's John in Detroit on the Patriot. Hi, John.
Hi. This is the National Institute of Drug Abuse on marijuana. The drug increases the likelihood of cancer of the lung, head, and neck since marijuana smoke contains 50 to 70% more carcinogenic hydrocarbons than does tobacco smoke. Marijuana smokers have a 3.5 times greater risk of dying from hypertension, and the risk goes up every year. The babies are testing positive for marijuana. Cannabis is stored in the brain and body forever, and it is the third most commonly abused drug mentioned in drug-related hospital emergency room visits at 12%. Long-term marijuana use can lead to addiction. So I think that next year we should vote no.
Thanks for your call, John. Have yourself a great night. I guess that qualifies as a legit call under Open Mouth Friday. What the heck? Here's Al in Detroit on the Patriot. Hi, Al.
John, good evening.
Good evening.
Got a question about this 1.5-year-old dossier. So you mean to tell me if the FBI director got this dossier in June of last year and he brought it to Donald Trump's attention 6 months later? So for 6 months, the FBI knew that it was a made-up story. Either they're incompetent or they were going to hide the fact and they were going to hold it over his head to blackmail the actual president. For the FBI and all of its agents to be going back and forth on something that doesn't even exist and to actually pay the person to make up a story, it's beyond thinkable.
Yeah, I agree, Al.
Do in third world countries.
I agree. And
just think about that fact, John. Just think about right now. I made up a story about you and went to the police and said John was here today, and you were in the hospital all day. But he was here. He beat the hell out of somebody and left them for dead. Even though the camera shows you in the hospital with the IV in your arm, and they put the story and went with it to get a warrant to listen in during a campaign for the presidency of this country. This is, I can't even explain how many laws have been broke.
And it's going to come out, Al. It's all going to come out. The unfortunate thing is the thousands and thousands of honest, hardworking, dedicated FBI agents that are out there are going to suffer for leadership that comes from outside the FBI, comes in, plays with it like a toy for 3 or 4 years, and then goes back to doing what they're doing. This time they went too far. I think they were going to get caught, and I think they're going to get burned. And let's both hope that happens. Appreciate the call. Anna, St. Clair Shores, you're next on Open Mouth Friday. Go ahead.
John. I was wondering, if somebody's on parole and they are intoxicated, do they have to report that to their parole officer?
Anna, the rules on parole differ. I can't possibly give you all the different rules. I understand you're not supposed to consume alcohol when you are on parole, but I don't know the answer to that, and I can't definitively answer it. But I can tell you this: if somebody's on parole, goes out and gets drunk, sobers up the next day, their first trip and call is not going to be to their parole officer to tell them they did it.
I was wondering because O.J. Simpson was in Las Vegas, and he was intoxicated, and they were kicking him out of the casino, and he was agitated.
Well,
so I just wondered if they could put him back in to prison for something like that.
I have no idea, Anna, and your fascination with O.J. Simpson continues to amaze and impress me. It's amazing. But thank you very much for the call. I mean, it's a good question. I don't know the answer. If there's somebody out there who's on parole can give me the answer, or some lawyer, or some bail bondsman, I don't know, who can tell us. Can you consume alcohol while you're on your parole, or does it differ from parole to parole? 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. Here's KC in Warren on the Patriot. Hi, KC, go ahead.
Hey, good evening, John, and happy upcoming holiday to you and all your listeners.
Well, thank you.
I'm really thankful that we have local political talk, because radio is the best medium to get out the myriad of ideas that are out there, and question, always question. And two quick points. First of all, Debbie Dingle, you're hardly a wallflower, so don't come off that you were just, so innocent that you can't expand your career or damage your career by coming out with names. You rode on your husband's coattails. You're in a very secure area that's been gerrymandered to, keep you and anybody with the name Dingle keep getting reelected. So come out with the names. Otherwise, don't come out with the accusations, because you played that card when you were in private life working with the UAW. It doesn't fly that you can't name names now, because you're in a position of power, whether you like it or not. Anyhow, on this whole Judge Roy Moore, I hate the timing of it. It really stinks. There's no Lewinsky dress or now Al Franken photo to condemn Roy Moore. But I also look at it that this lady, that the 14-year-old that he had the creepiest encounter with, if you want to believe any of these women, at the late date that they accused him, she had a divorce decree in his court. Why did she not recuse herself? I guess people from Alabama, Jeff Sessions alone, loves to recuse himself. Why didn't she say, I've got a judge in a divorce case that attacked me? Why didn't she come up 20 years later? Supposedly she's got this yearbook that's been signed, and her lawyer won't let it go out to be verified or authenticated. And this is before an election for a Senate seat. I just don't, everything stinks about this whole case. Don't you think, John? I
agree with you 100%, Casey, and I do appreciate the call. Have yourself a great night. Out of all the people that are coming out of Washington now that are screaming about sexual harassment and intimidation, have we heard any such complaints from former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton? I don't know. I'm just asking. 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. More of your calls coming up here on Open Mouth Friday, and texts, too. We've got some good ones here, which I will share with you as we continue on FM 101.5 and AM 1400, The Patriot. You want to make more money, and if you want to make more money in a way that you don't know how to do it now, because if you did, you'd be doing it, best thing to do is find somebody who is making a lot of money and then ask them how they do that. And then take what they do and what they tell you, and then you just go do the same thing. Sounds like a pretty simple idea, but it isn't. You and I both know that. But Online Trading Academy makes use of that philosophy in training people how to make more money, whether they want more money, whether retirement, whether they want to do something more with their 401k or some settlement that they got from one of the motor company, whatever. Online Trading Academy provides professional traders who are currently making money on the stock market, whether it goes up or down, and they bring them in. They contract with Online Trading Academy at one of their 40 campuses, and they teach what it is they do to make money. And by the way, their core process is patented, and that comes later on in the program. But what I urge you to do is to attend a free 3-hour trading and investing workshop and get that information from the professionals as to how they make money, whether the market is going up or the market is going down. It's free, and it's so informative. I went, and I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot, and it made me hungry to learn more. See how the professionals make money, whether the stock market's going up and down. All you got to do is call a number and make your reservation for the next session. Here's the number, 844-250-8723. That's 844-250-8723. Or you can go to the John McCulloch page at patriotdetroit.com, and the number will pop up right there too. So get to Online Trading Academy. It's time I don't think you can spend better time. 844-250-8723.
Now, on-time traffic and weather on the Patriot.
I-94 eastbound at Chalmers, accident left lane, slow from Lanyo. I-94 eastbound at I-96, accident right shoulder. M10 The Lodge northbound at Claremont, accident center lane, slow from I-94. M10 southbound at Telegraph, accident right shoulder. I-75 northbound after the Jeffries disabled vehicle in the right lane. I-96 the Jeffries westbound after Farmington Road, an accident slowing traffic from Outer Drive. Van Dyke southbound closed between 15 Mile and 14 Mile due to a broken water main. Work is expected to continue through the weekend. Van Dyke northbound approaching 15 Mile, only the right lane open. Traffic is slow back to 13 Mile. Try Mound Road, Ryan, or Shaner as possible alternates. Your weather forecast tonight, showers with thunderstorms also possible after midnight. Temperatures rising to around 45 by 5 a.m. Saturday, showers, a high near 53. Saturday night, showers before 1 a.m., low 34. Right now, 40 degrees. I'm Kevin Sanderson on the Patriot, FM 101.5 and AM 1400.
Acer Tech Public Adjusters is pretty anxious that you know what a public adjuster does because, unfortunately, some of you at some point are going to need one. Public adjuster is licensed by the state of Michigan to get the best settlement possible when you have a property insurance claim at your home or business. When you have disaster strike at your home or business, it's devastating. It knocks your feet right out from under you because you don't know what to do. How do I go? How am I sure this is the right place? Is the match? There's so many questions, and they're difficult for you. But the people at Acer Tech Public Adjusters, they do it every day. They take over. And typically they get 3 to 5 times the settlement that you are initially offered from your insurance company, from your property insurance company. And that's not their statistic. That's a statewide insurance statistic. Acer Tech Public Adjusters represent you in the process. And they make sure things get done right. And they know where to go to get it done the way it should be done. Don't take a chance. They can be disastrous if you do. Call Acer Tech Public Adjusters. Talk to them about your insurance policy, about what's in it, many times more importantly, what isn't in it, and get their name up on your refrigerator or in your drawer at work. We hope you never need them, but when you do, you don't want to go into the situation with the insurance company without them. 855-CLAIM-55. That's 855-CLAIM-55 for Acer Tech Public Adjusters. You would not go to court without an attorney. Don't go to your insurance company in a claim situation without Acer Tech Public Adjusters. 855-CLAIM-55, and please let them know John McCulloch sent you.
Join Faith Talk Detroit for the Michigan Christian Chamber Business Expo with great organizations like Bloomfield Christian School, teaching students biblical truths and classical academics from a Christian worldview. It's all happening November 17th at Woodside Bible Church's Troy campus with Comedy for a Cause, a benefit for Promise Village Home for Children, and the Michigan Christian Chamber Business Expo.
Visit MichiganChristianChamber.com, bringing ministry to the marketplace.
The John McCulloch Show is brought to you in part by Cruise Hearing Aid Services.
FM 101.5, AM 1400, The Patriot. It is Open Mouth Friday here on the McCulloch Show, and here is Barb in Roseville on The Patriot. Hi, Barb.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. I just have a quick question to the rest of the audience. My daughter was in Newark, New Jersey recently for a job. She had to be there. Anyway, long story short, she's trying to sleep, and all of a sudden, Muslim prayers, she heard them so loud with the window shut, with that she taped it on her phone. Like, why are we allowing this in the United States of America? And am I the only crazy one that thinks this is nuts? We need to stop this. Like, that to me, it's just noise pollution, and why the heck are we allowing it? I mean, if we allow it in one city, it's just going to spread, and we'll be like the Middle East.
Well, we don't need to.
Am I crazy?
We don't need to label things, noise pollution and so forth. But as far as what you're saying, yes, I think it is crazy that that's allowed to go on. I don't care what religion it is. That's inside your church, inside your mosque. If you want to have an outdoor service, that's fine. Do it at a decent hour of the day, and don't be too loud. It's not right, and then I'm sure there's people who are afraid to criticize. So your complaint is noted, and we'll see if more people have the same problem. You need to be tolerant, but you don't need to bend over backwards and lose sleep. And I agree with you 100%. Do me a favor, though, will you please, Barb? You still there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I need somebody to get a hold of Michael Moore, and I think he's in Michigan this week. And tell him Michael Moore, the movie guy. And,
okay.
And tell him it's 1 year later, and we're still smiling.
I'm loving every minute that Trump is in there. I wake up happy.
Thank you, Barb.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have yourself a great night. Here's Ed in Royal Oak on the Patriot. Hi, Ed.
Hi, John. How are you tonight?
I'm well, thanks.
I got a simple question that no one can answer, and I thought it was very simple. And it's about these DACA people. And they say, I could be wrong, it could be 2% or 25%, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, in our military. And how can they be in our military if they don't have any papers?
Don't ask me, Ed. That is a question that has baffled me. We have illegals serving in the military, and I've been told that's it's necessary. We need them because they'll volunteer and they'll go out and serve the country and fight and die and all. Well, okay, fine, but isn't there some other things that should be done first? How do you take an oath to the United States when you're an illegal? I don't get it. But
it's puzzled me, and I drive a lot of people, and I talk to Democrats and Republicans, presidents, and just people that are just general people, and no one can answer that question. It just blows me away that this is going on, and they keep on stressing this, that they're in the military. How can they be in the military?
Well, there is some hope, Ed. You want to start taking keep a close eye on this new guy, the leader in Hungary, because he says that he's going to beat the George Soros people who are behind all of this immigration stuff. It's necessary to their one world view. And he said the one thing you need to do is attack and enforce immigration law, especially
they need to.
Your borders and your laws. And so we watch what he's doing, and he's starting to succeed. And it's driving George Soros crazy, and I think that's George Soros' home country.
Well, that's good. I'd love to see George Soros go bye-bye.
Got it. Thanks, Ed. Appreciate the call. Here's Zoelle in Ontario on the Patriot. Hi, Zoelle. Go ahead.
Hi, John.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
It's my first time calling your station. I listen to you all the time on the And I want to ask you a question about all these immorality that's going on at these two houses in Hollywood. Do you think that the television station, the way these women they're dressing, will change their way of dressing?
Which women?
All these women there. I remember. I'm 70 years old. They used to have a little bit long skirt below the knee, and in the front there, that the clavis, you never seen that before. But now, Fox News, they got all kinds of these women that they dress like this. That they expect men to be perfect,
Zoe, I'm not going to comment on it other than to say this. You're over 70 years old and you're calling from Canada, and there's two things you have to remember. I have to be very careful what I say because I don't want to get into victim blaming. That's something that is something you shouldn't do. Number two, you have to remember that in certain segments of our society, Hollywood, television, and others, every day is Halloween. Keep that in mind. Thank you so much for the call, Zoe. Thanks for listening, and don't be a stranger. 800-923-9385. James in Livonia, thanks for hanging on. You're next on The Patriot. Go ahead.
Hey, good evening, John.
Hey.
I was wondering, I haven't been able to find out or hear for certain, do you know whether the Baptist Church in Texas was, in fact, a gun-free zone?
Do I know that for sure? Was there a sign up? I don't know.
I haven't been able to hear or find out for certain.
Yeah, I do not know.
In Texas, it just seems odd that in Texas, no one in that church was able to fire back.
Unless the preacher had a rule, that's entirely possible. But I can't answer it definitively, so I don't want to offer an opinion.
I understand.
Most churches are gun-free zones, in not most churches, but in many areas they are, and I think you're going to see that start to disappear.
In Michigan, it's at the discretion of the pastor or the elders of the church.
It has to pass the elders of the church?
Yeah, not specifically. CPL holders are able to carry the elders of the church.
Now, what they ought to do is just make it don't ask, don't tell.
I agree.
Have a good night.
You too, sir.
Thank you, James. Appreciate the call. Appreciate your listening. 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. It is Open Mouth Friday here on the McCulloch Show. Been jammed since the beginning. John, Joseph, Pete, you hang on, and if you're not one of those three, become the fourth at 800-923-9385 here on FM 101.5 and AM 1400, The Patriot. Gregg Chiropractic Life Centers in Troy and in Garden City, founded by Dr. James Gregg, do a lot of good work for a lot of different people. They do lectures. They go around to various nursing homes. They go around to various businesses. If you're the kind of person who has a duty to have your noon program at whatever service club you're working with, if that's your job, they have wonderful presentations that talk about chiropractic and what it's all about. And they also outline the services that they do and the things they do for free for members of the community. For example, treating all first responders, all Army veterans, armed services veterans, whether active or retired, police, fire, and those kinds of people, you'll never pay out of pocket at Gregg Chiropractic Life Centers. It's just that simple. That's the way they are. But they also have a way of teaching about chiropractic and what it does and what it may be able to do for you. And if you've been in pain and you haven't really gotten the relief from that pain, except maybe from drugs, and that's not really relief, that you feel you should get, then Gregg Chiropractic Life Centers would like to talk to you and explain some things to you. You may have heard rumors about chiropractic. Why go on rumors? It's your pain. Go get the information from the horse's mouth. And you can talk to Dr. James Gregg anytime that he's there. 734-525-8422. You can reach him at both locations at that number. 734-525-8422. or book them in for a presentation at your service club. Same number, 734-525-8422. Greg Chiropractic Life Centers. I strongly personally recommend them. And when you do call 734-525-8422, please remember to mention the John McCulloch Show.
Now, on-time traffic, news, and weather on the Patriot.
I-94 eastbound at I-96, accident right shoulder. I-94 eastbound at Chalmers, accident left lane, traffic slowing from Warren Avenue. I-94 westbound after Oakwood Boulevard, accident left shoulder. M10 The Lodge northbound at Claremont, accident center lane, slowing from I-94. M10 southbound at Telegraph, accident right shoulder. I-75 northbound after the Jeffries, disabled vehicle in the right lane. And Van Dyke southbound is closed between 15 Mile and 14 Mile due to the broken water main. Northbound is blocked in the right lane only open, and that slows traffic back to 13 Mile. They're going to continue working on that all weekend long. Try Mound Road, Ryan, or Shaner as possible alternates. Your weather forecast tonight: showers with thunderstorms also possible after midnight. Temperatures rising to around 45 by 5 a.m. Saturday showers, a high near 53. Saturday night showers before 1 a.m., a low around 34. Right now, 41 degrees. From the townhall.com newsroom, the women who robbed an auto parts store in Detroit last month were reportedly going after money to buy a man a birthday gift. Leviticus Butler has told investigators that Shantae Anderson and Ebony McEwen Ross are his girlfriends. Anderson and McEwen Ross were caught on surveillance video robbing the store, and Anderson is accused of shooting 69-year-old store manager James Haller to death. The women are facing murder charges, while Butler is charged with being an accessory after the fact and also is accused of helping hide Anderson after the shooting. Father Solanus Casey will be a step closer to becoming a saint in the Catholic Church tomorrow after beatification Mass at Ford Field in Detroit. Father Casey, who died in 1957, is credited with performing miracles after his death, including curing a man of cancer in the 1990s. That cancer survivor is John Ahee, who was given just a 20% chance of surviving for 5 years when he was diagnosed 20 years ago. I'm Kevin Sanderson on the Patriot, FM 101.5 and AM 1400.
Early in the week, the attacks were on Roy Moore. On Thursday, Al Franken and Sylvester Stallone. And who's going to be the target Friday? And at the movies, we'll review Justice League with Batman, Wonder Woman. And what about Superman? Well, we'll tell you. And Wonder, a new movie with Owen Wilson and Julia Roberts. Is it worth all the hype about being a family-friendly masterpiece?
Michael Medved, weekday evenings at 7 on The Patriot. The John McCulloch Show is sponsored in part by Azertech Public Adjusters.
Well, we did come out with the chart that showed the payments made from 1997 to 2017. Fiscal 2017 ended, of course, in October. These are the harassment and other charges that were brought within the U.S. Congress, and then the $15 million of our money that was paid out between those years to pay them back. I brought up that in the year 2007, $4 million of that $15 million was paid out, and in 2002, another $4 million was paid out. What happened in those 2 years, 2002 and 2007, that would have caused that jump? I have no clues, at least for me, and I have no clues from the audience. The audience seems to be stumped on this too. Now, I'm going to try to get a breakdown of where this money went and what kind of complaints they were. And I'm also going to try to find out what Debbie Dingell meant when she said if she mentions the names of the people that have harassed her since she's been in Congress, she'd pay a price. And I just don't understand that. She has been a woman of integrity since I've known her. I don't agree with her politically one bit. But if she's sitting at a luncheon with a bunch of Congress people and some guy puts his hand up her leg, I'm sorry, it's time to say something. What do you mean she's going to pay a price? Seems to me the person that did it would pay a price. Hell, in today's society, she doesn't even have to prove he's guilty. Come on, Debbie, what's up with that? John in Detroit, you're next on the Patriot. Go ahead.
Oh, the only thing I could think of is blackmail, but, Texas, you can't bring a weapon in the church, but Michigan is open carry, and they just passed a law in Lansing that you can carry a concealed weapon in church even. But that's not what I called, John, because on your show or on your station, they said that lady who was thrown out the window by her son, who was a Muslim, was dead before she hit the ground. And they said that the father of that boy who threw his mother out was very upset that his wife was Americanizing their boy. And that's why he threw her out the window. Now, I don't know of any group of people that came to the United States that were worried about becoming American. That tells me there's something wrong with this group that don't want to become American. What, are we the enemy? Why are they here? What's going on here, John?
Questions you're going to have to get answered from somebody other than me. I don't understand how something like that can go on. Thanks for the call. I don't understand how something like that can happen and people are not saying anything about it, except for John. Throwing people's out. Now, there are those who say that in some cases, when somebody takes a fall like that they die from fright before they hit the ground. But that's pretty flimsy. And I'm not sure I buy it. But to be, for a son to throw a mother out of a window and have the case just kind of disappear, if it has, now I don't read the local papers, perhaps it's still out there in the community and they're still investigating it and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. If anybody knows and wants to give us an update on it, they're welcome to. 800-923-9385. It's Open Mouth Friday here on the program. And next up is Joseph in Detroit. Hi, Joseph. Go ahead.
How are you doing, John?
Good.
I've got a bit of a quandary here. I don't think that people have been paying attention to the full weight of what's been happening with Judge Roy Moore. If they had, they would have remembered something very, very simple. The exact same thing was done to Herman Cain when he was running for president some years back. And when he dropped out of the race, those accusers disappeared. This is the same crap they're pulling on Judge Roy Moore. I think book on it.
It's happened in a number of other cases. The one I think of is Clarence Thomas.
Exactly.
But he stood up for his guns and he beat the rap, didn't he?
Well, basically, he knew it was a lie. He just wasn't going to take any crap from him. That's what it was about.
Yep. Well, maybe that's what Moore is going to do. We'll have to wait and see. But it's all very suspect. And if it turns out that Mitch McConnell's the one who planted the thing, Mitch McConnell's got to go. And if he did do it, I hope they can prove he did it. Right now, it's just an allegation. But then, again, so is everything against Moore, is it not?
Yeah.
All allegation. No proof. And Gloria Allred should be stripped of her, if she has a license to practice law. I'm not even sure she does. But if she doesn't come up with the proof on this and quickly, then she should be stripped of her license to practice law and her license to appear on TV and lie. But I guess you don't need a license for that. Happens right now. It's going on right now, as a matter of fact, and it will go on till 11 o'clock tonight or 12 o'clock tonight. And on some stations, it'll go on 24 hours. They don't need a license to lie. They just need the nerve to do it. And the incentive, which many of them have, because most of those serial liars are being paid ridiculous amounts of money to lie to you. Isn't that astounding? 800-923-9385. Here's Pete and Warren on the Patriot. Hi, Pete.
Hello, sir. Happy Thanksgiving.
And same to you.
Debbie Dingle claims that she has been groped but won't name names to keep her position. So does that make her an enabler or even worse?
I never thought of it in that language, but yeah, I guess it would.
I mean, if this guy hurt someone else seriously, is it her fault?
I wouldn't go that far. Maybe she's too new to know the rules. I don't know. But to say that she would pay a high price if she named the offenders, I'm sorry. That's not good enough.
She might be too new to know the rules, but her husband's been in there forever, so she had to learn something.
Yeah, you would think so. She's enough of a lady that I can't imagine only the most brazen of clods would attempt something like that with her. But, and I'm not speaking up for her politically, I'm speaking up to her for her personally. And I don't know her that well. But to come out and just say that she'd pay a hefty price, I mean, that's like all these other allegations that get thrown out against nobody. And then it leaves it up to the listener to include whoever they feel like including into that pile of people who are being named or not named. Do you see what I mean? So, yes. So now we're supposed to believe that the entire House and Senate are, a bunch of crazy people, and the ones that are after Debbie Dingell are especially nasty because she's afraid of the high price she'd pay if she told on who did it. That doesn't sound to me like something that would come out of her mouth. I don't understand it. Pete, thanks for the call. Good call. What? I'd be hard pressed to admit that. If I were being harassed and I went to the public and said, well, I'm being harassed, but I'm going to pay a big price if I tell you who it is, what does that make me? You're welcome to take this opportunity to answer that question. Those of you who like to call me names, 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. This is Open Mouth Friday. Got room to take a few more calls as we continue here on FM 101.5 and AM 1400, The Patriot. Dr. Richard Klein is a specially educated neuromuscular dentist with over 30 years' experience managing TMJ and sleep apnea disorders at the Michigan Head and Neck Institute. I'd like to talk to you about a group of people that he is very successful in treating. When you're a snorer and you know you've got obstructive sleep apnea and you're taking care of it, you're probably wearing one of those CPAP masks, if you can. Now, some of you can't, and it's understandable. You can be the kind of person who tosses and turns. You can be the kind of person who has claustrophobia, the kind of person who just can't take the noise that some of them make. You can't wear the CPAP. Well, rather than just throw it in the closet and have it do you no good and let the obstructive sleep apnea go on slowly killing you, which is what it's doing, you should call Dr. Klein's office and see how that CPAP mask routine can be altered. Now, in all cases, it can't. But in many, many cases, there are alternatives to that CPAP mask that you can live with, and so can your spouse or significant other, or your dog, if the CPAP's bothering your dog. Give them a call, or go to the website, tmjmichigan.com, that's tmjmichigan.com, and talk to them about some of the alternatives. Or, better yet, just go in and see them. Bring your CPAP in, show them what it is you don't like about it, and then have a nice, long talk and come up with an alternative solution. If you have been using or you have ever used the CPAP mask on the recommendation of an obstructive sleep apnea physician or a sleep doctor or whatever, and you're not using it, you're risking your life in the long run. So give Dr. Klein's office a call. Here's the number, 586-573-0438. Of course, there's nobody there now. You just leave a message. 586-573-0438. Find out how you can alter that CPAP routine. 586-573-0438 for Dr. Richard Klein at the Michigan Head and Neck Institute. And please let him know John McCulloch sent you.
Now, on-time traffic and weather on the Patriot.
I-94 eastbound at I-96, accident right shoulder. I-94 eastbound at Chalmers, accident left lane, slowing from Warren Avenue. M10 The Lodge northbound at Claremont, accident right lane, slow from I-94. I-75 northbound after I-96 the Jeffries, disabled vehicle in the right lane. Van Dyke southbound closed between 15 Mile and 14 Mile due to the broken water main. Work is expected to continue through the weekend. Van Dyke northbound approaching 15 Mile. Only the right lane open. Traffic is slow back to 13 Mile. Try Mound, Ryan, or Shaner as possible alternates. The weather forecast tonight, showers with thunderstorms also possible after midnight. Temperatures rising to around 45 by 5 a.m. Saturday, showers, a high near 53. Saturday night, showers before 1 a.m., a low around 34. Right now, it's 40 degrees. I'm Kevin Sanderson on The Patriot, FM 101.5 and AM 1400.
MotorCityHelpWanted.com salutes the employee of the month, the one employee you can't live without. The others, let's just call them Dave.
Dave, are you stealing from the vending machine?
No, Mr. Employee of the Month.
Well, your desk is littered with like hundreds of snacks.
I merely exposed a loophole by reaching my arm through the flap thingy. Does that sound like stealing to you?
Yes.
Granola bar?
If you don't mind hiring Daves, go to the national job boards. They may be free, but trust us, they'll cost you. We make it easy to post a job, and it's local, so you won't get spammed by faraway job seekers. MotorCityHelpWanted.com. Local jobs that work.
You know secondhand smoke is a health risk. When you see someone smoking or you smell smoke, you avoid it. Did you know the second leading cause of lung cancer cannot be seen, smelled, or tasted? It's radon gas. It may cause over 600 new lung cancers in Michigan this year. And the only way to know you're safe from radon is to have your home tested. 1 in 8 Michigan homes test positive for dangerous levels of radon gas. Call 1-800-RADON-GAS to learn more about radon and having your home tested. This message sponsored by the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
The John McCulloch Show is brought to you in part by Online Trading Academy.
And here on Open Mouth Friday is Marty in Redford. Hey, Marty.
Yeah, hi, John. I'm calling. I'm upset a little bit about how the local news media can't even report the truth when it's staring them right in the eye. And I'm calling in regards to what I consider is like how Dan Gilbert snookered Warren Evans out of that stadium site down there. After all the stuff we're hearing about this stadium, soccer, which would never go in this area anyhow. Americans love football and baseball and hockey, okay, and basketball. But as far as that soccer phenomena. But the deal is, too, is that how come all of a sudden, they discover serendipitously about, hey, you know what, we don't even need that stadium site. We can just go at Ford Field. So they're going to do that. All this stuff was on purpose. And I think the bottom line is that nobody wanted to admit that there was a racial element to it, because I don't think they wanted the riffraff that courts would draw to an area. We heard all the talk about, we don't want this as a gateway to the city, coming into courthouses and all that stuff. And I think it was a real snooker job that was done to them.
Well, and you're certainly entitled to your opinion, Marty. I happen to disagree with you. I believe that Dan Gilbert is one of the best things that ever happened to this city. And let's just not, I don't want to go there on this show. Maybe we'll do a show on it. And it probably deserves to have one done. Here's John in Novi on the Patriot. Hi, John.
Hi, John. I'm on the air.
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay, good. Great show as usual. Thanks for taking my call. Hope this Friday evening finds you in fine fettle.
It is, except you're eating up your time. Get to your point, man.
Okay. I was going to ask a question about, has anybody else heard anything further about the accusation that nameless woman made against President George H.W. Bush about him allegedly...
George H.W. Bush, from the best that I've been able to figure out, has been a notorious butt grabber for years.
Okay.
I'm just telling you what I've been told from some Washington insiders. When he got older, Not in his younger years, but when he got older, especially when he was in his wheelchair. I guess it made him feel entitled to do it, but nothing serious. But I guess that's pretty serious. I don't know. Thanks,
Want to
John.
fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low Cost Airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help.
800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. 800-515-2397.
MyPillow.com, promo code WDTK, and you're going to get 2 MyPillows for the price of 1. That's Mike's best deal as far as I'm concerned. Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow. Look, you know you want one, and you know you don't have one, and you get to sleep on it for 60 days, so go for it. Do it now. MyPillow.com, promo code WDTK, 2 MyPillows for the price of 1, and you too can start sleeping the way nature intended.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
And promo code WDTK. Here's Rick in New Baltimore on the Patriot. Hi, Rick.
Hey, John, I love my pillow. Hey,
Good.
we were talking about Debbie Dingle, but how about John? John knows who did it, and it's both of them protecting a Democrat. Because if it was a Republican, it would probably come out. So what do you think about John getting involved in that, too, and protecting and not saying nothing?
Well, I don't know much about that relationship. I don't know much about that relationship. I know my dealings with Debbie Dingle came about mostly when I was with another station, and she had a certain view on something that I was doing a show on, and she tried to demand her way into the studio because we happened to be broadcasting from right near where her corporate office at the GM was, and I wouldn't let her in because it wasn't part of the show. It was simple as that. She got quite indignant. But she was very ladylike about it and very gentlemanly. If she was a guy, I'd say she was gentlemanly. But, so no, I just think, the only reason I brought it up is it sounded weird to me. Doesn't it sound weird to you that she would say something like she'd pay a high price if she's named the offenders of the people who are harassing her sexually? Come on. That doesn't make sense to me. Thanks to Tiffany Little for engineering our show tonight. This program is produced by Steve Deely. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for calling. Thank you for texting. And thank you for watching. I'm John McCulloch. And until we talk again, Monday at 6 p.m., please have as good a weekend as you can.
The John McCulloch Show is sponsored in part by Dr. Richard Klein of Michigan Head and Neck, Greg Chiropractic Life Center, Azertech Public Adjusters, Cruise Hearing Aid Centers, and Online Trading Academy. The John McCulloch Show on the new FM 101.5 and AM 1400.